Welcome everybody to the first of a big series. We've got covering off all the history of the Players 1 world records in normal Diablo 2 speedruns. So we're starting today with a very old record looking back to 2013. Just to give everybody a bit of an overview as to what we're doing for this entire series first. What we're doing is looking at the history of world records in Diablo 2 speedruns in the simplest category, being that of just beating the game from starting at level 1 all the way to killing Baal at the end of normal. So not a hell run, not going through the full thing, and not doing any players commands to make the game, flex and giving you better XP or anything. Just straight up, open the game, start playing. Who can do it the fastest? We're going to be ignoring different difficulty levels, so it could be hardcore, it could be softcore. All we care about is just getting through the game as fast as possible. We're going to be going through a whole bunch of world records over the last 8 years, as far back as I could find, looking at Twitch especially, for the Diablo 2 speedrunning community. And we'll be working through that to get to the modern day and see how the different strategies evolved over time. And maybe at the end of this, we'll be able to pull together a better picture as to what's really changed in the world of Diablo 2. So, to get into things, here's what we're going to start with. So we've got this great document here on Google Docs. Indrek, so actually ended up getting a few world records himself. He's a great man, great supporter of the community. He has developed with Overseer Schenk the site Diablo.run, which tracks all world records and also allows people to have great interactive tools showing what gear they have while they're doing a run on Twitch. So I strongly recommend you check out Diablo.run and support that community. Indrek pulled together a big list of all the different histories across all the different categories. I went through and actually summarized it and did some extra research in the background to find additional world records that had been missed in his document. And we're going to be starting today with this one here by LaVsr, commonly known as Lav. These days you might see Lav in 8-man runs. That's the main place that I tend to see him when he is streaming. He works a lot with Mr. Llama SC and Macro Bio Boy, Gymnasium, Teo. Those guys all work together on 8-man runs, commonly at the start of each ladder. But back in the day, Lav was the OG Diablo 2 speedrunner. So I've said here we're going to be looking at this record here, 149.25, simply because I went back and I couldn't tell if this 150.153 was a segmented run or if it was a regular real-time attack run. And also, if we look at it, it kind of looks like a potato, to be honest. So, you get through it. It doesn't look segmented, but, just for the sake of it, I'm gonna go with the other one. So we'll leave that be here. I'll put a link to this in the comments, just for anyone who's curious. But yeah, so today we're going to be looking at LaVsr before we work through the rest of the history there for you. So that's the overview of the series. That's where we're going to get to. I'll probably start off every video with that kind of overview. And let's get in to seeing how the earliest world record for Diablo 2 normal speedrunning went. Funny that he called it ladder reset. So he's gone assassin, and this is a big change in the record's history. So these days, anyone who follows Diablo 2 will know the main record is all about running the sorceress. So we've got it under 1 hour these days. It's been sorceress for a long time because you've got that advantage of teleport, whereas the assassin can't teleport. So interesting to see that. Not running on hardcore, just going straight up into the assassin. Softcore, I wonder if he'll use death strats, I'm not sure. Gets that sort of bottom town exit, so not quite the Indrek map we've seen. If you go back to that segmented run, well, the one that I wasn't sure was a segmented one, I'm pretty sure he actually gets the Teo map on that, so there you go. Runs out here, gets a exploding shrine, doesn't pick up the potions, so not going for the early gold strat on that. Just looking to kill guys A lot of melee going on here, much more than you'd see these days. Coming out, nice one-shots on the Devilkin, they're always good to get. Picks up a mana potion, very useful on that. I'm pretty confident he's going to do the den. And yeah, he's really keen to get to that Fire Blast. So you can see, where's my cursor here? Yep, there's the Den of Evil. He's got that pretty close to his Cold Plains. Definitely committing to getting to level 1 before he leaves the Blood Moor. So that's very interesting to me. These days you'd just be running pretty much straight for the Cold Plains and then going back and getting that level in the Den of Evil. So he doesn't... That's a big difference from these days. So as he ran past the Den of Evil, what you'd see these days is you drop a town portal and then go back to town, stock up on some mana potions and go and get the Den of Evil so you get an extra skill bonus and you additionally get a respec for later on to use. No respec, perhaps, in this. I'm not sure. Nicely killing a few Demon Hunter packs, like they're nicely packed together. They die pretty quick with the Fire Blast, so good to have that one. He's actually managing his stamina fairly well. It's hard to tell because he's got that speedruns live thing over the bottom here. So I can't tell how much stamina he has. Oh, there you go, it is filling up. So, yep. That's another big gap as well, running out of stamina, so didn't pick up any stamina potions. Another benefit of going back to town when you first get to the Cold Plains. Looks like this is gonna be the Stony Field. Yep, so it was pretty close to the corner, but not that close. For anyone who hasn't watched my other commentaries, or any of the other speedrunning, you would know that the Burial Grounds is often tucked in the corner. So if you have that being your Stony Field, oftentimes you'll come in here, and if it's really close to a corner, like there, or there, it's going to be the Burial Grounds, whereas the Stony Field's typically like a bit further in, like that. Finds a boss pack, nicely throwing more Fire Blasts at them, sort of circling around them, dodging that lightning enchant as best he can. You really want to be focusing on boss packs because they give 500% XP. Each of their minions gives 500% XP, so it's as good as killing 5 of those Moon Clans who don't say minion, essentially, just by killing one of them. So he had 2 boss packs there. That's pretty much as good as killing 50 enemies across those 5 enemies. So that's pretty intense. Does find Rakan'Ishu pretty quick as well, so that's really useful. Rakan'Ishu commonly spawns with 6 to 7 minions. It doesn't actually kill that many of them though, that's interesting. There you go, quickly gets another kill off. He does have a chat going there, but I can't see the chat. This is so old in Twitch that the chat history is deleted. So you might hear him referencing Teo a little bit. Teo who emerges later in the speedrunning scene. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I wonder what he has to say. Finds another boss pack as he's running through the Underground Passage. Underground Passage is what we call a straight through map. So you can see, where am I? Down here. The map sort of came in and he was facing this way as he entered, but as he ran, he was forced to run this way, which means the exit tile is going to be shaped like this. So he has to run straight along all the way to that exit tile to get to the next area of the game. Now, this is so early, I'm not sure how well the running's going to be, how optimized it is. You can see he's kind of wrapping around a little bit there. I wonder if he's going to get straight to the exit. I mean, at this point, it's 2013. Diablo 2 is a pretty old game already. All these kind of map layouts are pretty well documented, but I wonder how it plays out in the speedrunning scene. He actually tucked into a little corner there, which is always guaranteed to have a bunch of shamans and whatever, the little, Devilkin-like guys. So I'm surprised. Picks up a cracked wolf head. It does have a skill on it, so it'll be worth money to sell, so that's nice. Otherwise, if those class-specific items don't have +2 a skill on them, they are completely useless. Oh, that is rough. He's got Treehead Woodfist with a Might Enchanted Archer pack around. That is really tough. Apologies for the... I think it's Swiss. So I don't know which part of Swiss he is. It might be German Swiss. I'm not sure. Really focusing on that boss pack and getting absolutely hammered. Does drop the TP there. That's why we're playing on softcore. Runs around. He's probably spending too much time on this boss pack because you get just the same benefits from killing the minions, like 500% XP, as you do from killing the actual boss itself. And the boss itself usually has a lot more resistances, like gets a lot more benefit from its attributes, being, you know, extra fast and all that kind of thing. As the minions do. So normally, like, if you kill the boss, that's great, but generally just focus on killing the minions, man. Is he going to pick up those boots? Those boots could be okay. I'm not sure what level Treehead Woodfist is. It might be a bit low. Yeah, really spending too much time killing that pack. Too much time killing that pack. But he does pick up a bunch of potions on the way. That's pretty nice. Finds a waypoint. Could also be nice. I doubt he's going to reset a lot here, just knowing the strategies, but we'll see. Finds a stamina shrine that's going to help him get through, but oh boy, this is how I play, man. This is not optimized for speedrunning entirely. Still very fast. I'm sure he'll do it faster than he goes. Lucky that he got the waypoint, actually, because he could run just from that waypoint to the Black Marsh without having to find the waypoint in the Black Marsh. So this could be actually very helpful for him. He could just run straight to the inner cloister now and use that Dark Wood waypoint to get to the Black Marsh tower to do his runs to get Talith and Tyral. I'm assuming that's what he's going to get for the Assassin. I'm assuming those strategies have been consistent over the years. But he does really desperately seem to be looking around for that waypoint. So maybe he hasn't realized that potential benefit. Picks up a experience shrine. That's nice. That's going to give him 150% XP. Yep. Finds the waypoint in the marsh. And frankly, I think that one is actually further away than the Darkwood waypoint. Yep. That was a shame. Those boots were ethereal and completely useless, worth barely any gold. He's chewing up all his time on that experience shrine. I think it only lasts 120 seconds. So he's got to get running to get into the tower. Now, each level of the tower is a left turn. So you can see here, similar to my explanation before, he was forced to run in this way, and left turn will get him to the exit tile. This one here, he was forced to run in that way. Left turn gets him to the exit tile. Unfortunately, like, it's good that he's getting exits really, really fast. It means he can get to the Countess very quick, but he's not finding boss packs along the way. Now, when he's got this experience shrine, like, there you go, there's a boss pack of ghosts right there for you. While he's got that experience shrine, you know, 150% times 500% is 750%. So each enemy he kills is as good as killing seven and a half enemies. There's like about 5 ghosts in this boss pack, so 7 times 5 is 35, you know. So quite a fair bit of experience from that ghost boss pack. Pops the super chest in here to just get a good amount of gold. He is spending a lot of time looking at his inventory there. He probably should have just turfed some things and picked up that town portal, maybe, I don't know. Good amount of optimizing to be done here. Now again, quick left turn to tower level 4, and that might be yep. So it's aura enchanted. So when you had his cursor over the minions there, so the other archers, it doesn't actually say minion underneath them. So you could just tell that it was actually a boss pack by hearing that aura kick in, that whoom sound. Even though when he hovered over the Dark Archer, it didn't say minion. But nonetheless, he still got the 500% XP bonus from them. Gets to the Countess. The key thing about the Countess here is when you kill her, anything that rolls no drop will instead be filled with a special Countess drop of runes. I actually should look this up, how that entirely works on Diablo Wiki. But so anything that she rolls no drop, she's incredibly likely to roll a no drop. Can drop up to 5 or 6 items, I think it is. 5 items. And they will be filled with runes. So he's dropped Ith L. What he really wants is Eth Tal for Taleth being stealth, which gives him 25% faster run walk, 25% faster cast rate, and 20%, I think it is, faster hit recovery. The runes are good for money to sell, at the very least. He'll probably want to buy a staff here as well, because that's the other runes he'll be looking for, is Tyr and Ral. So he can put Tyr, Ral, get the Leaf rune word, and that gives +3 to fire skills. It's not class specific. You'll notice if you ever make a Leaf, it just says +3 to fire skills. So it works for Assassin, it works for Druid as well. Any skills that are using fire. I believe it even works for the Necromancer Corpse Explosion skill. So there you go. So that's what he'll be looking for. He'll be running the tower quite a few times, so you'll really get a feel for what that left turn looks like. Doesn't bother picking up the chip gem back there. Probably not thinking about the strats of re-rolling anything just yet. That was a pretty late development in speedrunning. He's found an archer group here, which archer groups are honestly one of the worst boss packs to get. They have a good amount of health, and they can just rip through your health as well. So you are very likely to die fighting an archer pack, especially when he's only like level 5. I should be actually keeping time of this. I'll try and go back through this whole thing and look at his level up strats, because he's just gone into Vitality so far and been leveling Fire Blast. So I'll try and make note of that as well. Finds a ghost pack here. Cursed, so he would have lost any shrine he had, but he didn't have any coming in here, so that's fine. Just picking up the potions to make sure that he can self-sustain without having to spend time buying stuff from Akara. Pops that super chest again. He's going to get a ring from there. That is a very full inventory of potions. He may be getting too many potions, to be honest. Will he find a boss pack here like he did last time? Nope, no such luck. So we're coming in. No boss pack there. There you go. Boss pack is actually okay. Mana burn, so he'll want to keep his distance. It's interesting that he's just standing still. So what I'd expect, and maybe this is something we'll see further in the later commentaries, is to be trying to lead them to the next place you want to run to. So run past them, throw fire blasts at them, and try and drag them towards the counter so you can be killing her as you kill the ghosts. Maybe they're a little bit too dangerous when he's at this low level and he doesn't want to get pincer attacked by enemies that could appear further on. You'll also notice that the Countess here is fire enchanted. Same with every game. She's always fire enchanted, which means she has very high resistance to Fire Blast, which is why he is just hitting her with his Sueya. Does drop Taleth, so that's very nice. He's gotten that. Does he have a belt yet? I don't think he has a belt. No, he doesn't even have a belt. So, gonna come in here. Very wisely avoids the 2-socket armor that was actually mechanics. Very tricky. Can't find 2-socket armor to put his Taloneth into. He's looking for a 2-socket staff to use. That might have been a bit too expensive for him, so we'll come and shop again later. Now, he has used Burst of Speed here, which is the benefit of the Assassin. With Burst of Speed, even without Teleport, you move very fast. So that's helpful. Finds a champ pack of Carver Shamans, which is very good. He probably doesn't realize it yet. So champions themselves give 300% XP, so killing one champion is as good as killing 3 enemies. But the minions with them, specifically with beetles and shamans, they come with minions, and those minions give 500% XP, just like minions of boss packs. So killing the little carvers there, that was actually totally worth his time for those 3 carvers. Unfortunately, it was just quite a small boss pack spawn, so unlucky. So it's just running through, continuing to push ahead. Ghost pack, that's fine. She's overburdened. Spending a lot of time thinking about this stuff. Now, this is an interesting thing. So he dropped a dagger there, and that'd be worth... he's not swap casting. Swap castings are many years away from this. So giving the assassin a dagger instead of the surveyor, I think it's a surveyor, I'm not actually sure what his weapon is much faster for attack speed, and he would be throwing those fire blasts much faster, since assassin trap laying is based on attack speed. So him actually picking up that dagger back then would have totally been worth his while, instead of just leaving it on the ground. Now, maybe he wants the extra damage because daggers aren't very strong while he's killing the Countess. I'm not sure. He should just be chugging potions there. There you go. Pick up the long staff for gold. And he didn't actually get any room drops there. That is rough. And doesn't pick up the skull cap either. I'm surprised he hasn't got a helm, because a socketed helm is very helpful. But he's just not looking at that. And this is why he needed the Tome of Identify first as well. Because he could have sold that stuff, gotten that armor that he needed. At least the ring and the longstaff for good gold. He's going to try and find that 2 socket. Let me just check my video quality here. Is this actually the native video quality? Source, yep, okay. Best we can do. Did he actually pick up his Tal rune? Did he leave his Tal rune on the ground just then? I need him to open his inventory so I can see that. Yes, he did. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, so he's saying Spectral Hit have extra resistance, I believe, and he just wants to kill the minions because they die fastest, which is exactly what he should have done with Treehead Woodfist. Anyway, never mind. Pushing on. Yeah, I am... Maybe he's going this way because it's got the shrine on the way, but the Dark Wood Way also had a shrine on the way. He is lucky that he's getting minions in this very short map, so that's pretty handy. Managing the archers by going through the door so they can't get as good an angle on him to just absolutely wreck his life. Once again, yeah, just focus on the minions, man. The benefit of killing the bosses, though, is bosses have a guaranteed drop of 4 potions, so that way he could restock his mana potions and health potions without having to sell. See, if he kept hitting that weapon rack, it's very likely he'd keep dropping daggers, and one could even drop with either mana per kill or with an increased attack speed, which would be amazing right now for this character. So I'm surprised he's not doing that. Might not have been aware of the mechanics of weapon racks at that point in time. Also the benefits of having a dagger over the talon or whatever he's got there. Now, since they were all bunched together, it was totally worth his time to just kill them with a single fire blast. And now he'll just be working on the Countess yet again. So this is run number 4, maybe? He's already got his Talon Earth. He really wants that tier Ral. No. Unlucky. Only a single rune drop. Level 9. Still got burst of speed going for him. Still looking...
Man. Ich krieg auch keine Rohlinge heute, ne?
Still really wants that armor. And he still hasn't got a 2-socket staff either. That is rough. And he's desperate not to get a long staff. I don't know why that is, but he's really keen not to. So, yeah, he's only got Taleth at this point in time. Maybe he should have kept the Eld to morph it up into a tier, but never mind. They'll never see me coming.
Experience Shrine.
Appropriately excited by the Experience Shrine. Not too worried. Double Experience Shrine. Okay, well, when...
Ich habe 2 Schreine, die auf einem relativ langen Weg zu greifen.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Should have just dropped a town portal and run ahead to the inner cloister so you weren't wasting the Experience Shrine. Anyway, never mind. Anyway, double the Experience Shrine. Maybe that was the benefit of going to the Black Marsh waypoint instead of the Darkwood waypoint. Even though the Darkwood waypoint was slightly closer, it only had 1 shrine on the way, whereas the Black Marsh had 2. Don't know. So once again, you can see the Blood Clans only have Demon there. They don't have Demon Minion. But that's just because the boss of that pack is only aura enchanted. So nice. I can get behind the like little making singing noises to yourself, dude. I'm 100% on board with that. Now you can see every time he goes through there, he's clicking that chest, and it's a super chest. So that's what, it's like a defined chest that's always going to appear in that spot in the map. That's what makes it a super chest, and it will drop just a lot of stuff. Probably clicking that, hoping for an amulet or a ring just to help him out for gold, so he can buy that stuff that he desperately wants. Or alternatively for some rings, just to help him out with, you know, runes and stuff. I wonder if this Longstaff is going to have 2 sockets for him, and whether he'll be happy to use it. Alright, so he just uses Fire Blast until all the enemies around are dead for that AoE, and then focuses on melee against the Countess. These days everyone just uses... If only he kept that previous eld, he would have been very close. Oh well, he just needs tier rune. So this is like run number 5, 6? There you go. Now he just needs the armor. So he's got his staff, he's got a Ral, he's got Tal-Eth. He's ready to go. Just pumping into vitality, as you should.
God. Mechanische Zwei-Sockel-Rüstung bei Chasi.
Appropriately frustrated Lav. Still classic Lav. You'll hear him the same kind of frustration if you listen to him these days on the 8-man runs. Just frustrated because, once again, there was 2 sockets there at Chasi, but it was a jeweler's. It was not a natural 2 sockets. So if you put runes into an item that is blue with sockets, you don't get a rune word. So he was wise enough to avoid that trap, but very frustrating to have that presented a couple of times, that's for sure. Gets a stamina shrine, which is helpful at least. Means he's not using those stamina potions. And doesn't need to pick up as many. Quickly glosses over the ghost there just to check whether it was a boss pack. Once gets a boss pack of Devilkins. Now that's actually useful. Because they die really fast, so that's very helpful. Took him like 2 throws to kill all the Devilkins there, which was great. Once again, you know, just to reinforce it here, you can see, even though it goes up like that, the end tile ends up being a left turn. So that's what I mean by left turns when I talk about left turns or straight through and all that kind of thing on this map. So you always want to be running kind of on the left-hand side. That way you'll find the left turns as quick as possible in the tower. Just a good tip for, you know, it holds true in Nightmare and Hell as well. So if you're doing Countess runs to get some sweet runes and gear you up on Battle.net, good tip to have. Alright, let's see. Is he finally going to get his tier rune? Who knows? His enemy management here is a bit tough. So... Oh, finally, with the 3 drops, so he gets a spare Tal-Eth as well. Maybe he'll put it on... Yeah, that would have been a great first drop instead of a 6th drop anyway. So now he will sell some stuff. So he'll sell his spare Tal-Eth. Mana per kill would have been so useful, man. Oh, that is a shame that he got rid of that ring. Anyway. And he still needs that armor, so he's going back up to Chasi. This is unfortunate. Finally gets the armor. So big opportunities so far is definitely in terms of enemy management. Getting socketed helms to just put, you know, a ruby or a sapphire in. And keeping an eye out for mana per kill gear, because that just helps him manage it. Very happy to get the skill shrine to just give him better burst of speed, faster run speed, and, you know, kill speed when he has to kill enemies. So this is going to keep, since he's basically just running straight through to the inner cloister from here, having the skill shrine and bumping up his burst of speed is actually a pretty awesome time save. So, yeah. Alrighty. Kicking along. He's probably clicking a few too many things, or the not incorrect things. He's definitely clicking like super Super chests are the right thing to be clicking, and he was doing that well in the tower, but you know, still might be clicking a few too many things. So he's just explaining that he's extremely happy with XP shrines, and skill shrines are pretty good too. Still pumping vitality, so that's the key thing that you will notice in these runs. They never touch energy, unless it's the sorceress who needs a bit of energy for teleporting. Never touch dexterity, generally. Sometimes you'll touch dexterity for paladin to just help you with the early zeal skill use, and very rarely touch strength beyond what is required to just get to maybe 30 strength. You'll usually get 25 strength to help you wear a belt, but you want to put that off as long as possible, and usually you only get belts when you get to Act 2 anyway, when you can just buy them from the vendor. Now once again, that skill shrine helped a lot, just killing those archers extremely fast. I mean, the ladies, very fast. Very frustrated with the archers. I think they were cold enchanted, which would have been extra bad. So just wisely running ahead from there, and gets the quick exit in the barracks, so that's pretty good. Now, jail level 1. Level 1 and level 2 are straight through maps. So you can see he was forced to run that direction, so he will leave in a tile that ends that direction as well. So let's see him get through this. Key to note that level 3 is actually a left turn. Oof, that's a rough map, so he finds the waypoint instead. He did check the right way, so it was a good approach. I don't know why he went down, but anyway. So he's had to turn up and then go around, so he's gone up like this way, and presumably this will be the exit here. Yep, there you go. Guaranteed exit block, this little maze thing. Doing a good job of balancing his burst of speed, like making sure that it's casted all the time. Once again, level 2, since he's running this way, it will be a straight through map that way. Nice singing, man. I love it. Bit of a long one, this one. That's a bit rough. I've been doing a real bad job of finding the points where he levels up, so I should work on that. There you go. Very quick left turn map there on jail level 3, so that's pretty nice. Gets the inner cloister. And really wants to get quick catacombs. Just checking over the enemies here, because it's pretty common for them to spawn as bosses just as you run into that kind of cathedral-y area. Now, catacombs level 1, level 3, completely random. You just got to be able to read the tiles themselves to figure out where the exit is, because there's no defined rules as to what makes up the direction you have to run in level 1 and level 3 of the catacombs. It can end up being a massive time suck. Nicely gets this exit here. Now with level 2, you want to run it clockwise. So you just got to pick a direction and run clockwise, because the thing is, it's a guaranteed right turn from the waypoint to the exit. So if you find the waypoint like here, he knows that it would be a right turn out, up into the exit. So by running this way, he either finds the exit first or he finds the waypoint, runs it anti-clockwise and still finds the exit first. That is counterintuitive, but very good for him, I guess. That was a fairly optimal way of running that particular map in the Catacombs level 1. Level 2, rather. He is spending too much time killing these banished guys. Like... and doesn't pick up the scepter, which is worth a lot of gold. There you go. Now he's spending too much time picking up the scepter. Yeah, you should not be killing those guys, man. They have a lot of health, a lot of resistance, and they only give you 300% XP. Not worth it. So just run it in the best direction you can. You can see there's like a bit of a down there, but it's not going to be the exit. Maybe he's not quite that familiar with the map just yet, because definitely that door was a little bit too close. That door was too close to the bottom of that tile, so you could tell that there wasn't room for a stairwell to fit in there. Shouldn't have checked that like little downturn bit. Once again, has hit the dead end, and he's run through the dead end. So that is a big optimization that he could have. He's not actually exploring this. Early days, you know, bit of map learning to go, I guess, and running into the dead end, unfortunately, there. Still gets a 151. I can almost guarantee, with all these critiques I'm making, like, just to be fair, I probably couldn't run this time. So, you know, not without a bit of practice anyway. So respect to love, all right? Like, I'm just throwing out the critiques I see from being an aficionado of how the speedruns these days work, that's for sure.
Kann es denn sein, dass es in Katas keine Bosse gibt?
Once again, dead ends. Should have seen that one coming. And probably spending too much time killing enemies as well that aren't boss packs. So that was a really unfortunate time suck, like full explored the top right-hand side of the map. Shouldn't have gone in there either. I don't know why. Is he just looking for bosses so he can try? That's probably it, actually. He's probably killing a lot of enemies to get Wake of Fire for Andariel. He's probably definitely... He's targeting to get Wake of Fire for Andariel, since that skill just melts enemies. Whereas these days, you don't really worry about that. You just know that fire, since Andariel is 50%, negative 50% resistance to fire, you just go straight ahead to her and level up in Act 2 if need be. Yep. Pushing in. And after all that inventory management stuff he did to try and get that Eagle Orb, he ended up leaving it behind. Eagle Orb, worth picking up, because if it has +2 a sorcerer's skill on it, then that's worth big money. And you need money just to get good potions, basically, if you're not spending all your time killing everything. So maybe the money game's not as important here, where he's spending a lot of time killing it. There you go. So he just got level 12, getting Wake of Fire. So that's what he was targeting. He was trying to just kill as much as possible so he could get Wake of Fire, come into Andariel at level 12, and just kill her with that, along with, you know, everything else around. Will he pick up that amulet? He's not rocking an amulet yet. Yep, there we go. And you can tell, like, not optimized. If he had a dagger, that would be much faster in the way he's casting those Wake of Fire traps. It's funny how well I can just tell that from the sound effect, to be honest. Yep, Tal Earth. So he's doing the speed bug here. I'm surprised that that existed that early, actually. So if you put Tal Earth into the armor, even though you are too low a level to use it, you do still get the speed boost until like something triggers in the game to make it realize that you shouldn't be using this. Commonly that's like when you run down a set of stairs or anything like that. And since Act 2 maps are all open out in the fields and everything like that, it's a great place to put it, is when you are just in Act 2 running around, you know, the open plains. Oh man, he was desperate to get a belt, and Pharaoh just wasn't selling it to him, so whoops. That's classic. Alright, what do we got? Alright, we got the quick exit from Drognan here. I'll move my cursor out of the way. Is he going to get a quick exit on the Rocky Waste? No. So, key thing with the Act 2 maps, they're a big square, similar to the first maps in Act 1. And the exit points are always like, kind of in these corners here. So, if when he first ran out, it's pretty common to find an exit there. So, you're really lucky if you can get that. Otherwise, you just end up running all the way around, and like you can just be a huge time suck in working through these Act 2 maps. Another thing to note is oftentimes the map will actually have corners in. So if you get up here and you notice that the corner has come in, you can just be like, right, well, there's not going to be an exit there because the corner's in the way. So now I'm not going to like follow it all the way around and check just in case it's there. You just go, nah, I'll just run over here first.
Was machst du?
Yep, finds the Halls of the Dead pretty quick. That's nice. Just drops a TP there, which is a smart thing to do. Just looking to run ahead, find a waypoint. Does run into the corner there, which is a weird decision, but all right. Quickly grabs the well just to keep his mana and stamina all loaded up. And we're pushing ahead. Drops a few traps, does the mana shrine. Very well managed there. Yeah. Can see definitely a bit of map skills and map knowledge to come up here, because he's exploring every little corner. Unless he's like desperately looking for a waypoint, but since he's riding the edge so close, like he's riding the edge too close to find a waypoint as well, as he possibly could. So it feels like he's not really... So you can see that here the corner has come in, so there's no way the exit's going to be right here. He's got to keep going up the other side. Yeah. So you could see like the corner kind of tucked in like that. And because the exit had to be here or here, there was no point in doing that full explore there. So he should have just turned and gone to explore the other corners as soon as he noticed that. Anyway, that's a missed opportunity. There we go. Finds the exit. Hasn't found a waypoint along the way because he was riding the walls a little bit too close. If he was a bit further away from the wall, it'd still show up on his map, but he'd also have a chance of seeing the things on his like other side to have the waypoint spawn, so he could go to town and like just do his Halls of the Dead straight from that. You can see he's like very close to the walls every time. Picks up an experience shrine, which is very nice, especially when he's got beetles out here in the Far Oasis. Very common for beetles to spawn. They have very low health and they give a good amount of XP, especially boss packs. And there is a guaranteed boss pack from a super unique boss called Beetle Burst here in the Far Oasis, which we'll get to at a later point in the series around leveling strategies and stuff like that. There you go. Continuing to pump Wake of Fire now that he is past level 12 rather than pushing further into Burst of Speed. So it seems basically the skill strat here was to just pump Fire Blast up until you got Burst of Speed, then pump Burst of Speed up until you got Wake of Fire, now to be pumping Wake of Fire. Definitely spending way too much time throwing traps down, trying to kill those pitiful enemies. Now he's desperately looking for a waypoint or an exit, or the maggot layer. There you go. He's found Beetle Burst, so he knows the strategy about Beetle Burst to be like, yay, sweet, Beetle Burst. He is guaranteed to spawn with 3 minions and gives me bonus XP. And as a super unique boss monster, he will drop 2 magic items, which could be really good for gold, or, you know, just drop me something sweet. There's not going to be an exit here, man. Stop looking. You are too close to the walls. Run a bit further away from the walls to find the waypoint. You did a full explore of that side of the map. Complete waste of time. Oh, early world records. This is going to be a fun series. Much love, Lav. All right, I love your work. But this is just, it's fun to watch someone run like I would. Okay, so he's found the maggot layer. That's pretty helpful. And the waypoint was like right next to the maggot layer. That is actually a pretty lucky map. If only he'd explored that a little bit earlier. There you go. Now he's got a belt. Swaps that over for his other one. So now he's got 3 blocks. And he still hasn't bought a Tome of Identify, which is very surprising to me. Yeah, I guess it's the assassin, so you don't need to worry about gold as much as long as you're just killing the boss packs and just having a ridiculously full inventory like he is. Yeah, should not be spending that time killing that particular boss, because those Unraveler guys don't give that much XP. If you just drop one and run, that's the best way to do the assassin, exactly as he did then. So that was ideal. Perfect. Nice recovery. Figured it out. Yeah. Didn't cover this off. Once again, it's a left turn map on the Halls of the Dead. So you can see he kind of ran in, and the Halls of the Dead is sort of laid out here, so he sort of ran in there. The exit is going to be this way because he was forced to turn left from coming in that way. Holds true on every single level, including level 3. Instead of level 3 being the exit on the left, it's actually the golden chest with the Herodric cube in it. So he's come in, he's come out left, and then coming this way, and he's looking for the exit there. So even though it has that little tab there, the actual block itself is shaped like that. I'm talking too much. Once again, I've missed his level up. How he put in his skills, but that's alright. I'll come back after this and make my own little notes to myself for the future. And here we go, left direction again, relative to how he came in. So when I'm saying left, it's relative to how he ran in. I know I've explained this a few times, but you know, he's running to the right of the screen, but it's relative to the left of how he came in. It's probably the key thing there, or the way that the tile block itself would have forced him to run. It's kind of the way of doing it. Alright, out to the far oasis. He's going to do the maggot layer straight up because it's just that close. Maggot layer is a right turn map, so you can see he was kind of come in, forced to run this way. It will be down here somewhere is how the map exit will be. So he may end up running like whoa, down, or he may even end up running all the way up and around and then down. Down. But as long as it is a right turn relative to that entrance block, that's how it'll work in the maggot layer. For maggot layer 1 and 2, that is. For maggot layer 3, it is always a straight through map, and it is always up and to the right. But, yep, so he's been forced to run up, so now he'll want to run across into this doorway here. Where am I? This doorway here. And so then he can run down and get to the exit, hopefully. It's a rough map, this one. And it might actually be, that might be it over there. Could be the exit. Because that's right turn relative to how he came in, even though he's had to wrap around. So, good demonstration of the wraparound map. He might not have spotted that, though. Let's see. Or he might be wiser than I am. Who knows? Such spooky sound effects here. I've never really noticed that. That it's just kind of that soft buzzing sound of the... kind of like white noise. Oh no. That white noise is actually... it's raining outside. Whoops. There you go. It's definitely a wraparound map, and he's spotted it now. There you go. Oof. That is the danger of the beetles, like they die very quickly, but you're equally at risk of dying because of their their natural lightning enchantment. Yep, that's going to be worth some good gold for him. So heavy armor classes like that, anything that looks like it's made of metal, is worth a good amount of gold. So worth your time picking those up to sell to vendors. Breastplates, scale mail, whatever it is. The normal form of Balrog skin / russet armor. I can't remember what that is. Okay, Maggot Layer level 2. Looking promising here. He's come out and been forced to run this way, which is exactly the way he wants to run. Right turn map. This is a really long Maggot Layer. That's kind of rough. Sad for him that he didn't notice the wraparound earlier. It does seem like he realized, like he knows the map layouts. He knows the fundamentals of map reading. So that's pretty good for that kind of skill to exist as early in the speedrunning community as before the speedrunning community existed. Probably a good point to caveat at this. There may have been speedruns in Diablo 2 before this point in time. But speedrunning as a community didn't really super exist until around now. So while people might have been out there doing it on their own, I couldn't really find any evidence on the internet beyond like people trying to organize speedrunning like on Battle.net, like going as an 8-man team and just getting to the end of hell and that kind of stuff as quick as possible. There were, as I mentioned at the start, there was some experimentation from Teo in segmented speedruns, but yeah. Gets another scale mail for some gold and back to town. So, yep. 8 Fire Blast. It's quite low on burst of speed, actually. Anyway, picked up the U-Wand as well. Again, just to reinforce it, any particular items that can roll with plus to a skill on it can be worth quite a bit of gold. So, worth your time picking those up. Just to be as Australian in my accent as I possibly could be. Cool. That was LaVsr microphone, by the way. There you go. Now he's remembered how we ran in the map and ran the whole thing, so he's turned right. Very, very wise. Yep. Just managing the health there. Probably could be dropping those and just running through a bit more efficiently. He still has that assassin-specific weapon on him, which he'd be so much faster if he had the dagger, or even just dropped it entirely. So, oh well. Once again, Lost City, he checked in there hoping for the quick exit here, but unfortunately did not find that. Is now running along the edge. Will he come across Dark Elder there? No, that was not the Dark Elder block. Dark Elder is another super unique boss monster. Has high resist though, so not quite as good for leveling up on as Beetle Burst is. There you go, finds the exit on the far side. So didn't have to check all four corners of the map. As far as, like, all things considered, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, once again, Claw Viper Temple is sort of laid out like this when you first run in, or any other way, and it's going to be a left relative to that kind of inverted T there. So that's why he's running this way, because the exit will be just here on the map. It can also be laid out like that, in which case the left side would be here. So, and once again, these are all relative to the way the block exits. So it's always like he'd be running into it that way, or this way in this particular case. So it can wrap around and do all lots of weaves to get there, but it's always going to be in that particular way in level 1. Level 2 is always a static map, obviously. Okay. It's gotten through there. 50 minutes. It's pretty good. I mean, all things considered. I do love the little, like, singing to himself. Much props, Lav, on that front.
Noch 1,5 Level. Und das sind 15 Minuten, knapp.
So he's hoping for level 17 before he gets to Duriel, so he's got stealth working effectively. Interesting that he took that way. Different people run the palace slightly differently, so he took the bottom left into the first cellar level, and now, yeah, commonly Mr. Llama, I know, takes the top right exit into it, so he runs down this way to the first level, whereas Lav went that way by taking the bottom left one, and now is just running. Everyone always runs these levels 1 to 3 exactly the same way. Except he's come down here hunting for a bit of extra experience rather than just going into the middle and finding Fire Eye. Although Fire Eye is fire enchanted, so not as... he's got resistances against fire, because if you're fire enchanted, you get blessed with additional fire resistance. So there you go. There's Fire Eye there. Another super unique monster, always guaranteed to spawn. Will drop 2 magic items instead of just the 1, plus the 4 potions. Is he... No, he just gives up. Just gives up. Anyway, never mind. Arcane Sanctuary time. For anyone just tuning in, Arcane Sanctuary, completely random. You don't know what way it's going to exit. So it's kind of laid out like this, and it is a 25% chance to exit any particular way. You just can't predict it. People, you can go to Mr. Llama SC's Discord, for example, and there's a map homework area. People have spawned like 100,000 different map layouts. I don't know if they've actually done what I do, which is then run those positions in a random forest to find best determinants kind of things. But in general, the level of analysis they have done is there is no guaranteed way to predict, based off simple cues as to how you've run maps so far, which way the Arcane Sanctuary is going to go. Could be top left, could be bottom left, top right, bottom right. They've all got a 25% chance of going. So, you know, even as recent as today, I believe there are a few world records with a fourth way in the Arcane Sanctuary. So you don't have to get a first way. It helps a lot though. But you know, you don't have to get it. Oh no.
Pressure is good. So,
Pressure got to him. He went into Fire Blast instead of Wake of Fire.
Ein Fire Blast gemacht, also Wake of Fire. So.
I mean, that might help him out with the Bale kill a bit later, since he's not doing the respec whatsoever. But, ouch. Yes. So he really wanted to just have 8 Fire Blast and be pumping Wake of Fire. What you'd normally do now is you'd run up to that portal up here. I should stop pointing at my screen. Up here. Just so you could see if this is actually the exit tile first. Because you can tell if there's a couple of little torches there and you can see the bend in the road. You could tell if it's a first way or if it's not. There's a breastplate there. There you go. And Grand Scepter. Very helpful. He's going to run up. Okay. Never mind. I thought he was going to run up there and pop the super chest just to try and get some more gold and that kind of thing, but ends up giving up on it. Not worth his time. It's too late for those strangling gas potions, man. They're not helpful at this point. Probably shouldn't be keeping a hold of them. Very useful in Act 1. And unfortunately for Lav, he didn't get to use them at all in Act 1. Bit of a waste of time. So there you go. Didn't get the first way in Arcane Sanctuary. Unfortunate. And here we go. So he did take the portal's way, which is okay on the assassin as the first way to go. So generally, depending on the character class you are, but for most characters that don't have teleport, you want to be running the way that has just flat beds that are straight through, or then the portal way, and then these kind of twisty ways with stairs. Because the more stairs there are, the less effective his key skill, being Wake of Fire, is in actually hitting the enemies. You see when he casts it on the stairs, it kind of just like has big gaps and doesn't spawn properly. Oh, yeah, you could tell the stress he had there, just trying to squeeze through before those enemies blocked his way on those stairs. Because, yeah, stairs are a killer when it comes to actually being effective at killing the enemies. So this is probably the third way he'd want to go. He hasn't gone the flat way yet. I wonder if he just used to run in a particular pattern of going top left, top right, like just ran it clockwise rather than relative to the way the maps themselves laid out.
Noch 10 Minuten für ein halbes Level. Weil eben war es noch 15 für 1,5.
He's desperate for that level. I haven't been keeping track of what level he is. So I should be keeping an eye on that. There you go. Here we go. We got the second way. So you can see the bend in the little path. That's how you can tell that's the correct exit. So you can tell it pretty early, which you should have been able to do on that first way. But anyway, never mind. Right, picks up that just as well and quickly checks his quest log to tell him which is the true tomb of Tal Rasha. Probably spending a little bit too much time killing those beetles that are just normal beetles. Once again, he's being slowed down by the weapon he's using. Tal Rasha's tomb, again, he's come in and it's laid out like this. It is left side to get to the exit tile, being the entrance to Duriel's lair, basically. And he's killing everything he possibly can, just trying to get that last little bit of his level up. Does have beetles in the tomb. That's pretty nice. Beetles, again, very low life, so they die very quickly and very good experience, unlike those Unraveler guys. Clutch well. Very nice. Saved him using some potions and all that kind of jazz there. He's just doing his best to check out every little nook and cranny for boss packs, especially beetle boss packs, because that's what he really wants. There you go. Now he's leveled up. Whoa! This is the fun thing about watching Lav, because he's so passionate about it. That's the best thing in like watching the 8-man runs. He gets very passionate about how people should be running around and organizing their time. Unfortunately, throws a couple of fire blasts out there instead of wake of fires. And this is a very long Tal Rush's Tomb map. Like, as far as like he's just been running to the left this entire time and not hit a dead end. There we go. He's finally got to the exit. Just killing the enemies in his way. Runs up. I don't know why he dropped the... He does use the little hack. That's pretty nice. So drop the Herodric Cube entirely out of your inventory while there's space in it for the staff to just get slotted in. Nice little optimization there. It means he's not worrying about clicking and dragging stuff out of his inventory while he's trying to kill enemies and avoid being killed and all that kind of stuff. Good little optimization. Now, is he going to do the thawing potion? He does not do thawing potions. That's very interesting. So he could have bought a bunch of thawing potions there to give him plus 50 cold resistance against Duriel. Comes down here. That's weird. So he's never saved and quit since he saw that skill shrine there in the Black Marsh, because he wanted to have the skill shrine for the fight against Duriel. That's really interesting, because that... almost saved and quit. Because that's a strat I saw Bender use a lot. Coming around 2019 when he started getting into the scene, and especially on the Paladin speedrun, and even a little bit with the Assassin these days, but not really. And it just kind of dropped off the scene for a long time there. So for keeping the memory of that skill shrine being there while he ran through the entirety of Act 2, that's pretty impressive. That is actually a strategy I'm surprised to see in the speedruns from this long ago. Unfortunately, the shrine itself was quite a fair way away from the waypoint, but you know, as far as it goes, very interesting to see. And this is where, like, if he had those thawing potions won't stop him from getting frozen again by the Holy Freeze on Duriel, but just the extra resistance against the Holy Freeze damage would be totally worth his time. So he could be running away, dropping a couple of traps, run, drop, run, drop. Is he going to get the boots? Are they going to have run walk on them? That's probably the key thing.
Bam! 5 Minuten vor, mein Split.
He's very happy with beating his previous best time. Potentially a segmented split as well. Who knows? Okay. Runs across. Completely misses the palace. Completely misses the palace because he didn't talk to Jaren.
Was?
Oh my god. Forgot to talk to Jaren. Oh, the noob gains that could have been made back in these days. That's fun. That's so fun. It's fun watching these things that when they're not as optimized as they are these days. That's great. Did do the belt trick back in those days. That's pretty fun.
Oh.
What are you doing, man? Never mind. Right. Probably a key thing to call out here as well. Like, I've called him out for not having a helm on that had sockets that he could have like picked up a couple of gems and put in like a ruby and a sapphire just to give him a bit more mana sustain and a bit more life. But like he doesn't have a boot and a belt, boots and gloves, which many people when they first get into Diablo speedruns are quite confused by. And it's simply because defense in Diablo, especially speedrunning, basically doesn't matter. Like, as soon as you hit the run key, your defense gets set to 0. So if you're running and an enemy tries to attack you, no one cares.
Ich dachte, er droppt hier die Jade Statue, droppt er so ein anderes komisches Unique. So ein Dreizack.
I can't tell what he just dropped then. I think that was a different unique. It was not the Jade figurine, which normally would be the first thing to drop. But he didn't seem too concerned about it. And if it was the Jade figurine, just in case, for normal runs, you're not too concerned about it. Like 20 life is not that big a deal when there's so little left of the run to go. I thought it was a unique trident, which might have been... Well, he's not really using mercenaries at all in this strategy. So maybe that's why he wasn't too concerned about picking it up. Also, it just would have taken up a lot of inventory space. So yeah, Jade figurine, For hell runs, totally worth the time because that plus to 20 life can be saving you big time, many times over the course of the rest of the run. But
Ist hier echt nix.
just in a normal run, not really worth it. So he kind of full explored that area rather than finding the spider cavern first, which was a bit unlucky. I think he's run the wrong way just now because I think, yep, you can see down here was the thing, and he ran over here. Should have ran this way first. I don't know if he knew that there's like only 6 different map layouts for the spider cavern, and he just thought it was the different one, or if he's just used to running a certain way. But yeah, okay. So it was LaVsr, the unique trident before, which, since he doesn't seem to be doing mercenary strategies, is not worth his time. He has picked up the Jade figurine though, so maybe that goes my entire reflection on you don't need to worry about the Jade figurine quest for only 20 life. Who knows? Does get the straight through. Is he going to get the connection to the Flayer jungle and get a Great Marsh skip? That's the thing to know. So that's probably a thing to just explain for anyone who hasn't watched any of my other commentaries. In Act 3, you can actually have it so both the Flayer jungle and the Great Marsh connect directly to the Spider Forest, so you don't have to run through the Great Marsh to get to the Flayer jungle, and that is a real big optimization in terms of saving time. There you go, he's just got it in Act 3, because you're not spending all that time running through. And he's going to get so much experience now because he's got those little blue dudes with the big knives. And they have massive density here. They die really fast, just like the beetles earlier. And they give okay XP for how little they are. So he's going to be leveling up pretty nicely now. Won't have to really worry too much about getting things. And gets the straight away to the Gidbin and Flayer dungeon. Little offshoot of the map. So that's pretty nice too. Doesn't do the optimization to just kill the boss pack that spawns at the Gidbin. There you go. I was worried he was going to run into the Flayer dungeon there rather than running ahead and getting a waypoint. Still has not got a tome. Get some cold res, that's nice enough.
Good. Mana potions. Mana potions. Mana potions. Mana potions.
And now he's spending the time to go back to Mashif and do the quest. That is a little bit of a time sink. But, you know, presumably not huge. I don't know, it might cost him like 30 seconds doing this. Which, you know, 30 seconds over a 110-minute run. It's like 0.5%. And he didn't realize that he had to talk to him twice to get the potion. There you go. Phew. Thank goodness. That's an interesting way of playing it. So commonly these days, what you do is you would kill the like little boss that spawns when you like light the fire for the Gidbin, and then you'd go, and when you went to town to talk to Ormus, then you'd also get the rare ring, and you'd be sweet. You could just sell it for gold, or it could be worth like have actually good stats on it. He just happened to kill the guy and drop the Gidbin as he was killing all the other enemies in his way. Now I wonder if he's going to overlevel here with this many guys in. He's doing... That is... Okay, so now I know that he's German Swiss. That's fantastic. That is the most German, like, frustrated love I could possibly have ever imagined. Mein Stealth ist kaputt. Das Scheiße. Wow. Wow. What a quote. Okay, I'm sorry. This is not safe for work for the German folk, but perhaps I shouldn't laugh so much in this. This has been a great run. This has been a lot of fun to watch. You can see now he's pretty confident in his level because he's not just dropping Wake of Fires every 3 seconds, like he's just dropping it to try and get guys out of his way or when it's convenient. He's not actively trying to kill every single monster on the screen anymore, so he must feel pretty good about getting to level 20, which he should do because he's absolutely smashing it.
Nice. Ah, Gott. Hängt hinter der Wand fest.
He's trying to kill this super unique boss pack. What's his name? I don't know. Whatever, that guy. Stormtree.
Streichen.
Doesn't worry about what he's dropped. He must be good on
Minuten
potions.
schnell.
He's kind of getting a bit blocked by enemies here, so that's another thing you don't see as often in speedruns these days, is the runners know how to like just weave through a bit better. Which is going to be interesting. And just running across, hoping for the exit up in the top right instead of the top left. There's 2 potential exit points, and he has rolled unlucky. He's chosen the wrong exit side for Lower Kurast. Probably didn't need to do that. This might also be part of the burst of speed strategy that has evolved over time. Like, he's only got a few points in burst of speed, which is making it harder for him to weave around the enemy packs. Whereas now it's pretty common to have like 6 or more points in burst of speed, which makes you running through the game a lot faster and much easier to get in front of enemy packs and having them trail you while you lay traps and avoid them. He's looking for the waypoint so he can go back to the LaVsr dungeon rather than going straight into the sewers. Is he going to be forced to just do the sewers? Yep, this is another optimization that's come along since then. He's looking too hard for that waypoint. And is still just riding the edges of the map too tight. There you go. Hits his level 19. Now he can use
Komm, jetzt
Leif.
ist hier ein Wegpunkt.
And this actually casts a little bit faster on the short staff because it's a faster attack speed. So that's interesting. Maybe it's about the same. It's hard to tell. Hits the gem shrine just for fun. Still has not found that waypoint, and that is really unfortunate. Like, this is why you know, you should run through the sewers, or why anyone these days, if you get to Kurast, Upper Kurast, and you see the sewers, you just go into the sewers and go through them on your way and hope you find a waypoint on the way out, or you run straight ahead to Travinkel. Now he's going to have to run back from Travinkel all the way to the sewers after running. That's alright. Bit of fire res, that's pretty nice. And I think it might have even had mana per kill on it, so also handy. It's the ring he should have kept hold on earlier. Cool.
Ich muss zu L6. Aber wenn ich da bin, kann ich auch hier bei Ashara mir einen Merk holen.
How interesting.
Ah ja. Level 18 Cold, yes.
Wow. So the strategy was to get a cold mercenary.
Zu Alkohol.
And rather than go back to Act 2 and get stamina potions from LaVsr, he's gone up to Alcor. Is it LaVsr? I can't even remember the... LaVsr, I think is the guy's name, not LaVsr. Silly me. What are you doing, man?
Ich hab schon in Akt 3 gut Zeit verloren, glaube ich.
Wow. Wow. Just using all the Act 3 vendors rather than going back to Act 2 where they're a lot closer to the waypoint. That is really interesting. So that's another optimization that's come along. LaVsr dungeon, level 1 and 2, once again, left turn map, so he's forced to run this way. Exit's going to be here. Same thing, he's been forced to run this way, and exit's going to be just there. So, it's pretty commonly, they're almost like static layouts. So,
Fuck.
you'd think he should have known which way to run on that tile, but anyway, never mind.
Komm.
Here we go. He's got the like little down and across map rather than the maze maps. So I think 5 of the maps in Flare Dungeon level 3 are like maze maps where you have to run around. He didn't run down far enough there, so he kind of knew the strat that it'd have to go that way, but he kind of came off here instead. The actual chest is down there, as you'll see when he gets to it. That's the first time I've ever actually been watching one of these runs and seen someone run it incorrect. He doesn't know the map layouts for level 3.
Alter! Was ist hier für ein Level?
Wow. You just missed it, man! You just missed it! That's so interesting. That back then they didn't know the level 3 map layouts.
Ich habe eben ungefähr eine Minute
Wow.
Level 3.
Wow.
Flare Dungeon Level 3.
Alright, that's a big one. So map reading in general has been pretty good up until this point. There we go. Finally gets the brain. He's not worrying about drinking his potions to get Unraveler heads. He's good on gold now. He hasn't really been targeting gold whatsoever other than like the big opportunities. And yeah, now he has to run all the way back to the sewers to explore the sewers. So like this is a 30-second something time loss. Maybe even a minute time loss in running back here. Ouch.
Ich dachte gerade, da wäre einer.
Ouch. Maybe even 2 minutes at this point. Wow.
Ah, da ist einer. Nice.
So he could have picked this up on the way through, and that would have saved him a lot of time. What to say about level 1? I've said this in all my commentaries so far. Similar to Catacombs
Oben herlaufen.
level 2, sewers, you want to run it clockwise because you can find a golden chest in the sewers. And
Leider einfach weggelaufen.
from the golden chest, it is a right turn to get to the exit. So shiny, shiny, shiny. So by running clockwise,
Ah, da erfolgreich. Haha.
you can find the golden chest first, either the exit first or the golden chest first. Now, just to counter my entire advice here, he's run it counterclockwise and found the exit first. So, you know, whatever. I'll keep making those comments, but, you know, I'm going to get burned by them. Constantly, apparently. So, lucky for love. Oh, that's pretty good, actually. He's got a skill shrine right next to the Trivinkle waypoint as well, so that'll be handy for Diablo especially, but then maybe not Bale, because Bale curses you so often, but at the very least for his Diablo fight. His mercenary rips straight away. That's rough. Wisely finally gets rid of that assassin's pursuit. Look how much faster he is casting those traps. Like, that's got to be at least a 1 frame saving there. By just ditching his weapon altogether, rather than holding that assassin-specific weapon.
Den kann ich noch umbringen. Danke.
And he goes back to kill that council member. That was a
So,
complete waste of time.
zweimal links rum.
Durance of Hate level 1, never mind my snide comments. Durance of Hate level 1 is a left turn map. So he's come in, being forced to run this way, he's going to turn left, and the exit will be here. This is a surprising amount of running he has to do. Durance level 2 is a straight through map. If you turn left, you'll get the waypoint. So he's running this way, the exit is going to be here. And as I said, left turn is the
Ah, zweimal
waypoint.
links rum.
And from the waypoint, if, you know, someone in BattleNet just is nice enough to give you level 2 waypoint, it's a left turn to get to the exit. So handy to know, handy to know. Okay, level 3, just a static map layout every time. He spends his time killing a boss pack that has high resistances for no real
Das ist
reason.
der schnellste Tag.
Never mind. How's he going to manage this? Because you want to be really, you want to be really careful about that, because the council members, whenever they cast that little red firebolt, they actually heal Mephisto or other council members.
Hier habe ich noch einen
S-
Skillschrein stehen.
Okay, well, yeah, the other skill shrine wouldn't have respawned yet, so he's gone back to the Black Marsh to get this. He's moat tricked Mephisto But unfortunately, by doing the moat trick on Mephisto, he has lured the council member along. So the council member will be healing Mephisto while Love is fighting him.
Ah, Mephisto. Wie liegt's bei dir?
That's an interesting one. So he tried to moat trick him. Mephisto followed him in to that little cavern and then got stuck. So he's like failed at moat tricking him, but still moat tricked him. That's really interesting. So we can get an angle on Mephisto just from here, casting those out. That's a lot of fun. And luckily, by doing that, he's stopped the councilman. Doesn't pick up the boots. Wow. He stopped the council member from actually healing Mephisto. So that was actually super duper lucky. I can't believe he didn't pick up the boots. Like those boots, strong chance of getting faster run walk. I would have thought that that kind of strategy would have been very early in the history of Diablo speedrunning, but I guess focusing on gear was not beyond these core components of stealth and Leaf, obviously. Gets the quick exit from the plains of into the plains of despair, so that's really nice. So if I lay it out like that, the town's here. You sort of come down. The exit can be here, here, or here, and generally you will check it in this order. And obviously over here takes the longest. By getting it here, he got the fastest possible exit in the plains of despair. So that's a pretty nice map layout, really, all things considered. He still needs a little bit more of a level, so that's why he's killing guys here. Could always go back to the Flayer jungle, but he never got the waypoint in the Flayer jungle, so that's a bit rough. For all the time that I've like critiqued him for spending too much time killing enemies, I'm surprised that he doesn't have level 20 yet. Like, this is really surprising to me, actually. Because like the enemy density has not been that awful, and yet he still doesn't have level 20. Now, being so close, he's definitely going to get that in the chaos. So he might be over leveling a bit here, or he might be trying to do enemy management. I'm not sure. Since he mentioned the word level earlier, I'm assuming he's trying to just level up, but don't know. This is a rough map layout. It was never going to be up there, man. You're going the wrong way. It's got to be on the right hand side. So after being really lucky with the entrance to the Plains of Despair, the actual Plains of Despair have filled his time with despair. So let's continue pushing ahead. That's going to confuse him when he gets into town. I think he's commenting on... Oh, that was lucky.
Direkt River of Flame gefunden. Kriegt man River of Flame mit 19 noch Erfahrung?
That was super lucky. So the exit to the River of Flame, you can spend minutes looking for that in the City of the Damned. Minutes! And he just ran straight in and found it within 3 seconds. Are people running? He got Second Way Arcane, got the quick exit, got the Great Marsh skip, quick exit to the Plains of Despair, and an enormously fast River of Flame. Speedrunners would love this map layout. And he runs into a dead end. Whoops. So reading the River of Flame is just a bit of skill, predominantly. It's tough. So I suspect it's actually up that way, but it's entirely possible that out that way was... Oh, nope. I was right. There you go. My suspicion was right. I've been watching and playing Diablo 2 for long enough to kind of pick that up. Apologies for the video quality here, folks. I am watching this as best I can, and this is definitely the source quality, so apologies for Potato. And now my dog's going off. That's alright. Apologies. He makes a guest starring in most of these videos. So here we
Oh,
go,
ich
we're
hab das
pushing
bestimmt
ahead.
benutzt,
Picks up the River of Flame. And
Na, ich vergaß, ich hab keinen Teleport.
just 1 second.
Falsche Richtung, oder? Ja. Ja, falsche Richtung.
Oh, the joys of lockdown and people coming to visit. Anyway, we press on. So it's getting a bit stuck here on the different ways up to get into Diablo's Sanctum. Possibly a bit more of an efficient way to run it there. Wow, this video quality has really dropped off, hasn't it? Oh, well, I guess that's what happens when you go back 8 years and start watching those things. So, we get in. He's got his level 20. He can now beat the Ancients. It's all good. We're all good. There you go. Manages to weave around. That was kind of frustrating me that he was still trying to fight those guys. Lucky he has that fire res. Oof. 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 Oof.
Jetzt sterbe ich auch noch. Nee.
Oh, that stealth saved him there. So the faster hit recovery on stealth just gave him enough like recovery time or time in between stun frames to continue running out from that corner that he backed himself into there. This is the dangerous part of the run, getting into the Chaos Sanctuary first. And being cursed as well, that hurts extra. So just stocking up on his potions with that nice little belt trick. Just pick up the belt and all the excess slots.
Gold,
Filled there.
das ist ja mal ein.
Smart. Almost died. Didn't want to lose all his gold. Hasn't stashed any yet. Sees it blocked off that way. There you go. That's a better way of running it, love.
Ah,
Oof.
Gott, beide Wege sind zu wieder.
This is rough. This is a real rough chaos, actually. Like, I'll give him that. So, lots of enemies blocking his way. Can't get through. Does get through now. Managed to suck him out that way. And pushes ahead. Now, is he gonna go?
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Oh man.
Voll die Schmitzkatze.
So, just absolutely chockers with enemies here.
Okay, dann.
Just doing pack management here. And it's going to be pushing into that corner, trying to kill the Grand Vizier of Chaos.
Na, wir müssen immer am Anfang für den Multiplayer-Speedrun suchen.
Now, the risk of Grand Vizier is if you spawn him and then you go back to town, he can just decide to fly off out into the abyss and you are stuck. You can't kill him because he's out
Eventuell kann man mit der
over the lava
Schaden unlocken.
where you can't lay traps and you can't kill him. Oftentimes you can't even see him. So he probably wants to go to town right now and get his mercenary, since Grand Vizier is immune to fire. But maybe he didn't know that yet. Maybe he didn't know that. He's just focusing on killing all his minions. He's got a nice pike there. If he got an Act 2 mercenary, that'd be pretty sweet. But instead, uses... That's why he was keeping the potions? Wow.
Leider reset.
That's really interesting. And also interesting that he's using the Act 3 mercenary on him. So the Cold Mercenary on Grand Vizier of Chaos. Giving him some potions by holding shift and pressing presumably 1 or 2. I have actually seen, I think it was Indrek, maybe Kano, using the Cold Mercenary in like Act 2? I mean in Nightmare, when they got stuck on Grand Vizier of Chaos once upon a time. Maybe it was even in Hell. But that is so rare these days. Everyone just goes for Act 2 mercenaries and gives them... Like, there was a pike back there. That pike would have been amazing damage, but... Oh, Khalif, he got it done. And it looks like Khalif kind of just dropped off the map there, so it's entirely possible that he's been teleported and will... And he's bugged at this point in time. And Khalif got the job done. Absolutely wrecking Lord DeSace. So nice one, nice one. Gee, love, you could be nice and give Khalif a bit of a potion after he saved your butt there. Did amazing damage. Just continuing to clear out the packs as he runs through, playing it safe. Khalif's going to die in a second. No? What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Is he going to do a death strat? Or maybe he's worried about dying, so he's run out of the corner. Oh, he thought he didn't spawn where he wanted to, so he's like accidentally run around the corner. He was trying to sort of do a semi-moat trick where the lava was in the way. So the lava was there, he was here, and Infector of Souls was over here. But thought that Infector spawned too far away and ran around the corner and instead lured him straight in. So I think he dropped that town portal over here. So relative to that, just in case Infector of Souls came around and like trapped him here and killed him. So that way he could run back in and like kill him from the other side where it's a bit more open. Big safety strat there. Interesting.
Und schon wieder läuft sehr gut.
And now going back to Travinkel to get that skill shrine we saw earlier.
Für Diablo für deutlich mehr Schaden.
So this was the only thing I was thinking earlier when we were observing on him killing a lot of enemies in the Plains of Despair, was because he's saving those skill shrines, it means he doesn't get to reset areas as often and doesn't get to reset the boss packs that would have spawned there as often. And that's possibly why, even though he spent all that time killing enemies, that he wasn't getting as many, 500% XP bonuses. So therefore, that's why his leveling was so slow and so bad relative to these days, right? Like relative to just a casual player starting to play. Obviously, this is pretty great and was a world record for the time. But, relative to the techniques we've figured out these days, that's really interesting. Once again, potato vision becomes transparently obvious. Apologies again. And so yeah, exactly as I predicted, is using that skill shrine to full effect against Diablo. Really focusing on... There you go, that's what I'd expect. Focusing on Wake of Fire, perhaps too much, instead of... Like, he should just be laying 2 Wake of Fires and then going Fire Blast. Instead, he seems to be laying about, 5 Wake of Fires and then going Fire Blast. Which is definitely far from ideal.
Nice. Gerade noch so.
Very happy with his split, though. He's beaten his split by 6 minutes on his previous run, which I wasn't sure was segmented or not. And here we go. So coming up on the end, he's still got Mephisto Soulstone because he keeps talking to Deckard Cain for no particular reason. And we're into Act 5. So pushing on, pushing on. This is where Burst of Speed really comes into its own, and why I suspect he doesn't have enough points in Burst of Speed. And perhaps overdid Wake of Fire. But, that Wake of Fire probably helped him a lot with that Diablo fight. I'll be interested to contrast this with how Teo's run goes next time. Or Nightfall, in fact. We've got Nightfall coming up, don't we?
Yeah, Diablo 2 is indeed the best game of all time.
Yeah! There we go. They knew it even back then. What a quality call.
Not much up. Just breaking my record.
There you go. I suspect...
With an incredibly lucky run.
I suspect that that 151 that I showed earlier that was entirely potato, like even worse than this potato, was actually the original world record. So the 151 that I'll put in the comments, in the description rather, for anyone to check out. That was the original world record for Diablo normal speedrunning. So there you go, or players 1 speedrunning. So as we get up here, he does not kill Shank the Overseer, not looking for the cheap potions. That's interesting to me. Wisely not killing any enemies, because it is not worth your time whatsoever in a normal speedrun once you've got level 20 to kill any enemies. Even though you'd think, you know, maybe if I get the level up by having an extra skill point, that'll give me more kill speed. Still not worth the time that you'd invest killing. And especially in Act 5, because there is an experience penalty on monsters that are more than 5 levels above your own level, up until you hit level 25. And all these monsters here are about level 30, if not above. So you're getting like maybe 10% XP of the actual base monster experience here for every monster you kill. No, not worth your time whatsoever until you hit level 25. So just running along the Frigid Highlands, you'll notice that he didn't do Save the Barbarians, because it's not worth his time. Hasn't quite figured out where he needs to be on the map yet. That's also interesting. So there's a lot of little map optimizations that could be done. Even though he's got a good amount of ideas on here.
Maps in Act 2 were pretty crappy. And I found the summoner on second try, I believe. So it could have been better. But it was okay since I needed more experience anyway. So I reached level 17 for stealth just before finding Duriel.
So there you go. That's just him explaining why this run in his mind was very lucky. And I'd agree. The map layouts have been very good.
My was significantly faster than last time because I used Skill Shrine, which allows me in combination with stealth, with a 25% faster run walk from stealth and burst of speed to outrun him and not be in danger to die.
So it's interesting that he calls out the burst of speed was necessary for not dying against Duriel, because these days, with stealth, even the druid can handle Duriel fairly well, just as long as you run, cast, run, and you hope while you're casting that Duriel swings and has a whiff on you, but it's not super necessary to have that kind of extra speed boost from burst of speed. Alright, what did I miss?
Like 5 minutes.
So it's left turn maps again, and that held true for the previous one. So he's been forced to run out here, and that will be the exit over here. For the waypoint, the waypoint would be equally on the same sort of map layout, and I believe there'd be a hidden dungeon over here, but he really wants to go here, so turn left on every one of these sort of dungeon cave maps in Act 5 to get out. Holds true for Glacial Trail, holds true for Icy Caverns, holds true for the Ancient's Way especially. And the rest of them are just straight across maps.
Where's the tundra?
It's up there, man. It's up there. That's it. That's it. That's the tundra. Maybe he didn't know the left turn maps.
It just sucks.
It looks like he was running along the correct side, though. So he just he psyched himself out by not getting it first try. Luckily keeping a hold of those stamina potions. And I've given this tip before, but I will give it again. If you're running in a team on Battle.net, hold a few extra stamina potions, because it is incredibly common for your teammates not to have stamina potions and get left behind. So if you notice one of your teammates is starting to walk, just drop them a stamina potion. They'll love you for it. Alright, here we go. Still not really running the ideal way here. Commonly these days you just sort of run along the edge. Maybe not these days, maybe that was the strat 2 years ago, and now you just run through the middle and you kind of know which ones are likely to have 2 doors that you have to break. But generally, if you run along the outside edge of the frozen tundra, you're less likely to get caught with a whole bunch of doors blocking you.
This is single player.
Oh wow, even back then everyone was asking whether you play on Battle.net or not. But I guess Love was pretty into doing team speedruns even back then on Battle.net, so can't fault someone for asking him that. Once again, Ancient's Way is going to be a left turn, so he's taking the correct approach here. Just hugging that left-hand side as he came in on here and just sort of coming up there. Oh, that is unlucky though. That is an appropriate reaction. Surprisingly tame for Love though. Here we go, so we'll be coming up. Oh, this is rough. This is a rough Ancient's Way. After having so much luck on all his other maps, he's getting a bit stuffed. Between... Yeah, his Tal Rush's tomb was quite long. These have been very long. He had that rough maggot layer, especially. So, you know, he's had some good things in his maps, he's had some bad things in his maps. That's just what's going to happen in a game that's so RNG. There you go. So you can tell that the map itself sort of capped out that way, even though it was like all over the joint to get there. He finally gets that left turn up to the Ancients fight. There you go. So he knew that he had lots and lots of money. So he didn't worry about killing Overseer Shank the Overseer, because... So I say this because if you kill Shank the Overseer, you get a 50% discount on your potions from any of the vendors in Act 5. So you don't have to go back to Act 4 to get reasonably priced potions, because it's not actually a 50% discount, it's just getting charged the reasonable rate. If you are in Act 5 and you haven't killed Shank, then they'd charge you a 100% markup on what you'd pay in any other act. Anyway, goes back to Travinkle, gets that skill shrine again to just help him out in extra kill speed here. With the extra points that he's got in Wake of Fire and Fire Blast, should be doing alright. Now this is the thing that you commonly see these days, is the Mercenary will help because he'll just tank a few hits so you can throw more Fire Blasts at the Ancients while you're in here, but he's not doing a Mercenary strategy whatsoever. Hasn't geared up a Mercenary. I'm watching a potato right now, this kind of hurts my feelings, but again, old speedruns, this is what we're going to be getting. This is a very fast Ancients kill though, handling it really well. Even without the Mercenary strat. Yeah, like I say, that skill shrine and the extra points in Wake of Fire are really going to be helping. Now I say extra skills points in Wake of Fire because he hasn't been investing them in Burst of Speed like we would in modern speedruns. There you go, all the way up to 100 vitality.
13 minutes for bar. That's definitely a new record.
So
I don't die all the time now.
nice. Similar to Catacombs, Weldstone Keep can just be a huge time suck, except for level 2, which you should run clockwise again because it's a right turn from the waypoint to the exit. So let's see if he does the clockwise running thing here. Seems to be following that general strat. He's been forced to just quickly check this way. Makes sense even though it is counterclockwise. There you go. Is this the exit? Is this the waypoint? Waypoint. Okay. That's not bad. So he's found the waypoint, knows he needs to go up and turn right out of here. So he's hugging that right-hand side as best he can, or left-hand side, so he's looking for a turn out here. There you go. Boom. Gets it. So this is going to help him get that 13 minutes he was talking about, that's for sure. Drops a town portal for reasons unknown. Probably just in case he dies. That's weird to me. Would have made sense if he dropped a town portal when he first got to level 2, because if you find the waypoint, then you can take the town portal back to where you first dropped the town portal if you need to turn right relative to where you were. But wasn't necessary last time, so skill down on it. Yeah, I just got to suspect that town portal was a safety T-Boy. And
Here we go.
Here we go. Superstar DJs. Doesn't get the best spawns here. I mean, the Death Lords can be really annoying, but at least the Harpies die really, really fast. So, you know, doing the smart thing and just running past them. Now that he's in the throne room, dropping a few. Probably, he's dropping too many traps. So the thing is, there's like a specific amount of time in between each time an enemy takes damage from a trap that they can't take damage again. So like dropping about 5 traps in the one spot is not really that helpful. It does absolutely destroy the enemies though. So, yeah, that's alright. And you can see he's chewing through the potions now. So, yep, it's got his trusty level 16 Ice Mercenary again. And he's going to kill Colenso, the Annihilator. And using the gas potions again. The gas potions that are useful in normal and not any other act. Like, theoretically, it could be useful against, like, for its prevent monster heal abilities. But it's not really doing any significant damage whatsoever versus these enemy health pools. Or life pools, rather.
Don't kill the minions, kill the boss. Fucking mercenary.
Oh, that darn mercenary. So just laying traps out, ready for the bad guys to appear. Got to kill Achmel, the Cursed. And absolutely just wrecks all those scorpions immediately. I gotta say,
Nice.
Khalil is actually doing a pretty good job here. Kinda useful in terms of enemy management.
Antidote.
As long as you're going to kill all the enemies, that is. So, until he dies from the Hydras. So, he doesn't seem to be doing... Oh, maybe he is. Oh no, he's right-clicked out of the box. Oh, risky. Nope, he killed all the enemies.
Nice.
There you go.
They die quickly.
Those extra points in Wake of Fire are doing a lot for him. More than I expected, to be honest. Now, I wonder at this point if he's going to go back to Act 3 and hope that the Travincal skill shrine has reappeared, or if he's going to go to Act 1 to help fight the last enemy group. Because he doesn't seem to be luring these enemies out of the throne room. If you lure them out of the throne room, Bale acts as if they're dead. So he's spending a lot of time here killing these bad guys when he could just be luring them out and then leaving them behind. See how Bale started laughing? That's because they were behind the hidden line that says this is the end of the throne room and they're dead as far as Bale is concerned. So if ever there was a time to do it, it'd be now to lure them out. There you go. Now he's doing it. So he does know the strategy. He just wasn't concerned about it for Wave 3. It's common for folks not to worry about it for Wave 4. And definitely do it for Wave 5 though. So yeah, almost always you do it for Wave 3 and Wave 5, and I'm just surprised that he spent his time killing Wave 3. So that's really interesting. Perhaps, yeah, as I said, the extra damage from Wake of Fire, from having those extra skill points in there, helped him a lot in just getting through that fairly quickly.
Come on. Yeah.
Didn't pick up the extra potions on the ground while he waited. That surprised me as well. And there you go. He's not worrying about the skill shrine at all. Presumably because he's concerned about the blood mana curses that Bale throws down on you. This is going to be a long fight. He's doing the Bale clone thing, which is unfortunate as well. I'm surprised he hasn't hovered his cursor over which one is which. He must have just kept pretty good track of that, I suppose. And plus, the area of effect on these traps is pretty huge, so it's hitting both guys equally anyway. Now, he's almost out of health potions. I suspect he's going to have to... Yeah, he's killing... Yeah, he spent all that time...
Attacking the wrong bar.
Yeah, that's what I thought, man. So you can actually tell whether he's the clone or not by where the demon is. And the clone has a couple of spaces before the demon, like hidden.
I need a couple of no potions.
So that was a bit of a time suck there as well.
Should be enough.
Okay, oof. Yeah, that was a huge amount of time wasted. Like I said, just as well. He didn't run away as far as many speedrunners do as well. But I guess, again, with the assassin, she's so powerful that you don't really need to worry about the Baal clone,
Yeah,
unlike some
it can
other
be
classes.
Quite 5 minutes better than LaVsr.
So here we go. Coming in, he's doing the mix of Fire Blast and Wake of Fire.
Don't kill me.
Almost rips without a town portal, that would have hurt. Does he have a town portal up? Oh, he does have a town portal up. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Quite a long battle. Yep. This is just gonna drag. But we're closing it out on the first world record in this series. The second real-time attack world record that I can find in the history of Diablo 2. Closing out at 149. So we're coming up. It's fun that he's actually got the live segment there. So when he ran his 151 in the one that I wasn't willing to commentate, he must have done Act 5 a lot faster, even though he had the skill shrine. I guess that just shows how rough those maps were in Glacial Trail and Ancient's Way.
Out of mana potions again.
Just go to town, man. There you go. Now he's going back to Act 4 to buy the potions because he's so low on money. He has to sell his gear to get the potions. And buy the cheaper potions too. And he sells his belt as well. He's not willing to sell his stealth just yet. And doesn't do the trick where you talk to Tyrael and go back either.
This should be enough.
These optimizations are fun. He probably spent too much time buying the big potions as well, since he didn't really need them. Like his mana pool wasn't that significant enough that he was just, in the end, wasting money on greater mana potions instead of just buying large mana potions, but yeah. I'm going to close it out. We're almost there, Baal. Come on, stop teleporting around. Be nice. Be nice. My brothers will not have died in vain. Don't get distracted by the clone, love. You've got this. Kill the Baal. Save the world. Oh, he's really doing it close with these mana potions. This has got to be almost perfect mana potion management. There you go. Woo!
Oh, I hit that a little early.
Alright. There we have it.
So that's like 149.25.
So that's it. That's it. That's what we got. That is the end of the run. 149.22 for the world record. First one on record for Diablo 2 speedrunning. That is just astonishing. Keen to check out the next one with you guys. And I'll see you next time on this world record commentary or History of World Records commentary series for Diablo 2. Bye!